Hey folks, this is Brian from Super Easy Toots, and in this tutorial we're going to cover the plus arithmetic operator. So what I've done on the left is I've actually created a program. I've commented out several parts of it. I'm going to uncomment it as I go through different things as far as the addition of variables. So what I've done here is in these first two lines I've assigned two different variable names, values, and then in this next line I've added them, and then in this line I'm proving that that operation has been done by counting it, by doing the x plus y. So we should expect the value of 7 to show up when we run this, and it's basically this easy as adding x plus y, adding your two variable names. We'll add the 4 plus the 3. So if we debug and run this, we're going to get a value of 7 that's going to be on our output. And there we have the 7. So now what we can also do is assign a integer and give that integer, whatever we've named it, the value of x plus y. And that's what I've basically done here. I've created integer AB, that's my variable name, it's an integer variable, and added x and y and assigned that value to AB. So when I see out this AB, this variable, again it's going to show the number 7. So if we debug and run, and there we have 7. So addition is that easy. Now we haven't covered floats or doubles or anything yet, but basically I'm going to set some floats up here, and some float variables as well as some double variables. So if we look at this line here, I've set basically 3 values of float, and we haven't really covered this yet. We've only done it this way, where we've assigned one variable name a value at a time. But you can do multiple variables of the same data type, and that's what I've done here. I've created a data type float with a variable name A, another one with a variable name B, and another one with a variable name C, and I've assigned them values. And the way you do that is you just do A equals whatever value, and then do a comma, B equals whatever value, comma, C equals, and you can continue to do this with multiple variables, and then you just got to make sure you have that semicolon at the end to end the line. And then down in this line right here, I've created a double, 3 different double variable names, and assigned them values. And basically what I want to show you is you can add an integer in a float, and an integer in a double, and a float in a double, without many problems. In this line right here, this cout line, I've added x and a. Now x is an integer variable, and it is equal to 4, and a is a float variable, and it is equal to 12.44. So when we do our cout statement here, we're going to see the number 16.44. It's gonna the output is going to pull the full thing, and it's going to give you a float value. If we debug and run, and we have our 16.44. So it's added the x, which is an integer value, and the a, which is a float data type, and given that output. Now the next line here, what I've done is I've created an integer r and set it equal to the same thing, the integer x plus the float a. Now what this is going to do, this cout statement here, this output statement, is going to give this r value, but r is an integer, so it's going to give it in an integer value. And if you recall from this cout statement here, we had 16.44. This is going to drop the 0.44 because an integer value obviously does not have any decimals in it. So let me comment this out, and we'll debug and run it. And we're going to get the number 16. As you can see here, because the r that we're outputting is an integer value, so that 0.44 again is dropped. Now if I get rid of these last comments, and we did the same, I did the same thing here. I assigned, except I assigned a float value. So I've created this this float with the name ZZ, and I've added x and a, which I did up here as well on the integer r. So the ZZ and the R you would think have the same value, but they don't, because this is an integer, R, so it drops those decimal values, and this is going to carry the decimal values. So I see out of the ZZ here, which is the float value, and I'm going to debug and run it, and we're going to get that 0.44 now. And we have the 16.44 there. So the other thing to mention, one last thing to mention, is you can also add numeric values to numbers. So if I see out and I do x plus, let's do 22.55, still going to get a value. It's going to add that x to the 22.55 and output that value. So if I debug and run this, and there we go, 26.55. It's added those, and it's carried the decimals because there's no restriction on it, so it's going to carry it out. And you can do that with just about anything. You can create an integer. Let's just say ZZ. I'm sorry. Let's do AA and set it equal to x plus 22.55, and then we'll output that AA. And we'll debug and run it. And we see we've got the 26 because it's dropped that 0.55 because, again, AA is an integer. So there's multiple ways to add values, and you can add between integers and floats and doubles, and that's basically the premise of this tutorial.